Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Access. We are working our way through Radiohead's OK Computer, and we're at track 3, Subterranean Homesick Alien. Catchy.
E.T. the song.
Or as I said in the last one, random word generator song title like emo bands were doing in the 2000s.
Yeah, I would say kind of uh, the difference being rather than it being a random name generated song, Bob Dylan song, Subterranean Homesick Blues, I think it is, and they use that as kind of an inspiration for the song title choice. But and I think it was Same Sick Blues. I'll Google it while we're doing the song just to make sure it was. But yeah, I think it was. But that's kind of the key to the song title. But rather than blues, aliens.
Aliens.
We've moved forward a number of years. Sci-fi is a big thing now. We've been through Alien. We've been through Aliens. I can't remember if we've been through Alien 3 yet, but
Definitely we've had Species.
As I say, let's hope for our sake we haven't been for Alien 3, and let's hope that in this version of the universe they stop at 2.
So, shall we jump straight in?
Yeah. Right, let's get that over there. Let's find the play button. Let's do this.
Forgetting the smell of the warm summer air. I live in a town where you can't smell a thing. You watch your feet for cracks in the pavement. Up above, aliens hover, making home movies for the folks back home. Of all these weird creatures who lock up their spirits, draw holes in themselves, and live for the secrets. Uptight, uptight. I wish that they swoop down in a country lane late at night when I'm driving. Take me on board their beautiful ship. Show me the world as I'd love to see it. I tell all my friends, but they never believe me. They think that I finally lost it completely. I show them the stars and the meaning of life. They shut me away, but I'd be
I'm getting really good at this pausing before adverts malarkey.
E.
After 2 years of doing this, I'm getting the hang of it, mate.
It's because you're
So
not
that was
uptight.
oh, I'm not uptight, or am I? That was Subterranean Homesick Alien. You.
This weird one, coming off Paranoid Android into a much more of its time jangliness sound, like in the guitars and stuff. But then it's very 70s with like the Hammond organ that's sat under a lot of it as well. And yeah, this one's a weird one for me because I'm like, it's of its time, yet also like really sort of throwback to 70s, sort of 70s proggy stuff.
So you say of its time. That one of the things I love about this, and I don't know if I loved it at the time like this, but for me, this is the Bends, but much better. This is the
Mm.
song, the first time I think on this album that you kind of go, okay, they did the Bends, and this felt to me like what maybe they wished some of the sound of the Bends had have been like. So you say about that added layers, like things like the organ. I think this one has a really haunting, ethereal kind of lilt to the way the notes are played and the music's played. But it does feel like a 90s indie song, but with these extra layers
Mm.
chucked in on top. That's what kind of really shines out for me is if you put it toe to toe with a lot of the stuff on the Bends for me, I think you can go, yep, definitely the same band, but they've taken themselves forward even in the music they were doing, and that's what I kind of always get to when I listen to this song.
So you saying haunting? I wouldn't say haunting. I'd say floaty.
That's the
It
ethereal element for me, but I think there's and again, like it's I guess it's what you hear, but I think there's a
yeah.
haunting because I don't think it doesn't sound kind of, maybe when I say haunting, like probably a descriptor I'd use is there are fairy tale musical elements, but they're kind of a Grimm's fairy tale musical elements to it
Mm.
rather than a
Disney.
bit more of a tweet. Yeah, Disney. Yeah, good. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I said this. I did like this one. I said it's just one of those ones where I'm just like, from what we've had sort of so far in the album, it is an outlier. But then we're only 3 songs into 12, so
yeah.
this may not be the outlier. But 2 song or 3 songs in, 2 songs with driving references. The boy's obsessed.
Yeah, I mean, there is an argument that yes, he's obsessed, and maybe what geniuses aren't obsessed, or I think as well with this one, it's even though I say this sort of so much again being cram's a horrible word to use, but kind of crammed in. So they are, and again for a bit of background knowledge and more for this when we get to Kid A, but they learned how to play a lot of instruments from scratch for this album because they kind of went away and went, we used to play guitars and sing songs. We're really interested in putting other sounds into it. So a lot of the stuff that they're integrating in, they've just kind of gone, right, while we're away recording this, let's learn how to play this, play that, play the other. And I think in latter years, when you look at someone like Johnny Greenwood and the scores he does for movies, you go, thank God they went away and learned how to play extra instruments, because I'm sure that helps him in his ability to sort of compose sweeping bits of music that can have like orchestras of sort of 60 or 70 in it. It probably really does some great guns for him. But this one for me as well is about Tom York. I think this is, as great as I think the music is, this is sing this song. And I think the lyrics are really important, and I think the vocal performance is probably more important to this song than it probably was the last two.
Mm.
But and I love, I said about like kind of what that song means to you and what it meant to me now, and sorry, what it meant to me then and meant to me now. Yeah, for me this is kind of a song about and for me. So anyone else who gets someone else for it, good game to you. But feeling somewhat isolated in the world, and maybe feeling like you don't fit in and want to be taken away by the aliens because you want to look down at the world and see if you can see that world that you want it to be. But you can't because there aren't any aliens. Spoilers. If there are, they've not come here yet. But yeah, it kind of spoke to maybe like where I was finding myself mentally at the point of going, I don't necessarily think I fit where I am anymore. And it was actually quite heartwarming for me to hear that someone else was singing about that, because if you're feeling kind of isolated, and I was isolated in a big group of people, which is a very weird thing to say, but I felt isolated in a big group of people. And I think when you are like that, you think, is it just me? And then you hear a song where you kind of go, no, there's lots of people going through this. There's lots of people feeling like that sometimes the world is beautiful, but sometimes it doesn't feel beautiful anymore. It just feels stale and ordinary to you because it's not what you want it to be. So, when I talk about how much I love this album and why it's my favourite album, and I will say partially it's when it hit. So I'm 21 when this comes out, and 3 songs in, I think you got 3 songs, despite never having been in a car crash, that are really singing to me and kind of letting me know that not just there are other people out there, but there are ways to look at the world. You don't have to be so much of a one-trick pony. Don't have to just read The Sun and believe what they say. Which was a big thing in the 90s,
Yes. But yeah, it's definitely what we've done so far. This is the first one that I'd be like, I want to hear that again.
Yeah. One of my favourite lines in it is, show me the world as I'd love to see it. Because as I say, like, and realistically you're not going to, but that kind of that feeling a bit ajar and feeling like aliens, you've probably got more in common with aliens than you have anyone else, but still that desire to kind of go, but I want that for my own existence. I want that in my world.
Yes. So as always, let us know what you think. We will be back next with
any other songs about aliens that are good.
Yes. There isn't Aliens Exist by Blink-182 because you don't like pop punk.
I might like that one. We always say one day we're going to find one.
So next we will be back with Exit Music, open brackets, for a film, close brackets.
And I'm not going to say this is where my love of open brackets, close brackets on songs come from, but it did help.
As always, YouTube things, like, subscribe, ring bells, and until next time, good day.